Tom Aspinall thinks Jon Jones secretly wants to fight him. Tom thinks it bothers Jon how people are saying Tom would beat him. Speaking to Ariel Helwani, Tom said, "I think the main thing we could take away is me right now at 31 years old and Stipe right now at 42 years old, coming off a big layoff, are not even in the same stratosphere. That's what I can say about it. And that's no disrespect to anybody, but that's the truth of it. We are not even in the same stratosphere right now. And Stipe is one of the greatest of all time, the best heavyweight of all time. But talking about right now, nowhere near close. I ain't 42-year-old Stipe, and Jon knows it. Jon's a lot smarter than a lot of you people think, and Jon knows exactly what he's up against. I think he secretly wants it, because he has a gigantic ego, and he should have. He's one of the best fighters ever, and he hates the fact that people are saying that I can beat him. He can't sleep at night. He does all this stuff, and he keeps mentioning it over and over again, that he doesn't care about me, he thinks he's above me, and all that. But this is all projecting. It's all projecting. All of it. He knows. Deep down, he knows. He just has to keep saying it because he's got to defend himself. Jon is a competitor. He's a ruthless competitor. You can see it. I can see the way it eats him up, just from even watching. I don't sit and watch the interviews, but I see clips here and there, and my existence hurts his feelings. A lot. On the contrary to what he says, I ain't never been an asshole to him. We've got a bit of banter with this duck thing going. Oh, that's so offensive. Come on, Jon. Stop being so sensitive. He's offended that somewhere deep in his mind and deep in his soul, he knows I can bounce his head off the canvas. He knows it. One of Jon's biggest advantages that he has over everybody is that he's a tape studier. He loves to study opponents like this. He has no chance of doing that with me because my average fight time is the shortest in the UFC at 2 minutes and 10 seconds, over 10 fights. That's something that keeps him up at night. That will keep him up at night for sure. I'm a massive, massive question mark for him, and I know a lot of his game. He's got a lot of octagon time over a lot of years. I've got next to nothing. Next to no footage of me is out there of me doing anything apart from bouncing people's head off the canvas. He has no idea what to prepare for, and that is fantastic for me. A fan took 6 body shots from Alex Pereira.
Pode ir? Go. Ready? Chama. Passa, mano. Também sou abraço aqui, velho.
Stipe Miocic released a statement on his loss to Jon Jones. Stipe posted this to his Instagram. He wrote, "Let me start this post by saying I am good. Been through a lot worse. I hope everybody enjoyed the show on Saturday. What an incredible way to go out. I started this journey fighting in local bowling alleys, ended it selling out Madison Square Garden. It truly doesn't get better than that. Sorry I didn't get the W, but you can't get them all. Sometimes it's not your night. That is the nature of the beast. You can't plan a perfect ending in this sport, but I guess the perfect ending is to have been lucky enough to do it at all. You have given me so much, and I hope I did you all proud. Croatia and Cleveland, Ohio especially. I felt all of you with me at every battle. To Marcus and the Strong Style team, we started together, we finished together, we cried together, we bled together. If people only knew the whole story of everything we have been through, we could write a pretty badass novel. There's nobody else I would have rather shared this journey with. The best part is that we are family forever. Marcus, I know my father has passed, but I also know he appreciates you stepping in and being the father figure I needed in my life. We had a hell of a run, coach. You dedicated years of your life to me. We made history based on a dream, and you had a vision. Now we have more time to drink wine and play euchre while making fun of Bobby because he is terrible at defending himself. To my opponents, thank you all. I learned something from every single one of you. It was an honor to go to war, brothers. To my wife, you are my rock. The ship doesn't sail without you. You sacrificed so much for this dream, and I love you. God knew I needed you, and you motivate me more than anyone. I will miss hanging up on you for embedded, but there's YouTube for that. To my kids, everything I've ever done is all for the two of you. To my mom, I know this isn't the career you would have chosen for me, but you've always been in my corner since day one. It was me and you. To my Vayner Sports family, you guys are the best in the business. And finally, to the fans, you guys are the heartbeat of this sport. You are what makes MMA amazing. Without you, we fighters don't even exist. The rush you gave me walking down to that octagon is forever engraved in my memory. Thank you for that. I'm not going anywhere. Excited to start some new projects, bring back the podcast, break down all my fights, and share my reality with you. Until my next fight, just kidding, just kidding. Forever grateful. It's been a hell of a ride. Kamaru Usman gives his take on Michael Chandler's loss to Charles Oliveira. Usman thinks a major factor in the fight was Chandler's leg being compromised early on.
I don't know if you noticed this, Henry. There's something that we have to talk about technically when it comes to Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler lost his lightweight title in Bellator. He got kicked in the peroneal nerve down there, low kick, and his left leg was completely gone. He couldn't stand on it. Every time he planted, he rolled the ankle. Planted and rolled the ankle. And that's just kind of the symptoms of being kicked there. He lost his belt, I believe, to Primus there in a lightweight.
Yeah, Primus.
Yes. And with that same thing. And so Michael Chandler, over the years, it's like he gets kicked there, that leg instantly shuts down. It completely shuts down. And I don't know if you noticed that, Henry. It was a couple of kicks that Charles Oliveira threw there. It wasn't clean on that nerve, but it was red. You could see it. And I'm watching Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler's leg was done. That's why he kept winging those hooks, because he couldn't step. He couldn't step when he started the round, he could throw a 1-1-2. He could throw a 1-2. And he looked dangerous. But see, he couldn't step anymore. So he had to wing these hooks. Look at that. He's throwing those hooks so hard, he's not bringing his feet because that leg is gone. And I noticed that, I believe, maybe in the second round, and the leg is gone.
Yeah.
And so Charles Oliveira did what he had to do. He just kept putting on the pressure, and Charles Oliveira was taking out Michael Chandler. Like, think about that. Taking out Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler's a wrestler, a good wrestler. Charles Oliveira was shooting offensive shots to take him down. If that doesn't let you know that he was completely compromised, which I think phenomenal job by Charles Oliveira, going for the legs, taking his legs out, and by round 2, Charles Oliveira was just in complete control. And then Michael Chandler survived to round 5 and just still mustered up the courage enough he's one of the best showmen that we have, to still give the people a show. He knew that the commander-in-chief was there. He knew that the A-team was accompanying him. They were there with him as well. So you guys came to watch us. Guess what? I'm going to give you a show. Whether I'm compromised or I'm gunned here, doesn't matter. I'm still going to give you a show.
Dominick Cruz is ready for his final UFC fight. His last fight was his KO loss to Chito Vera back in 2022. In an interview with TMZ Sports, Cruz said, "I think I got a last dance. I got one last dance in me, just to go out there and have fun. And when I say fun, I mean fight to the bitter death and see what I have in me. The fun comes months after that. That's where it gets to set in, and okay, that was fun. But I'm ready to walk into the fire again and see what life and death really looks like. And one more go at that would be a pleasure. So I'm building myself up. I'm at altitude. I'm out here in Mexico City. Some of the best training I've had in my whole career." Aljamain Sterling believes Jon Jones could have finished Stipe Miocic earlier if he really wanted to. Aljo thinks that Jon was trying to see how he would feel with more ring time, in case he actually does end up fighting Tom Aspinall.
I think what Jon Jones was doing, after the first round, he put a beating on Stipe in the first round. I think he could have ended the fight if he really wanted to. Now, this is my hot take. Jon Jones was trying to see how he would feel with more ring time, so that he can see, if I were to fight Aspinall, how do I really think I would do? I need to have a little bit more ring time to see against a real heavyweight, and to see how my body would feel against a guy like that, with the size, the strength, the punching. Can I take a shot at this weight? Of course, we seen him skedaddle out of there when Stipe started chasing him down, but he had a little bit more of the speed advantage, right? So I think he was just trying to get his feet wet and see if, like, from the Cyril Gane fight, from that being about 1 minute and 30 seconds, maybe 2 minutes, to now going 4 rounds, about 4 rounds, I think it kind of let him know, like, okay, if I really wanted to fight Aspinall, I know I'm capable of doing it against a much younger, youthful guy who's faster. He's the typical tight end that you would recruit, right? Mm-hmm. If he was here playing, grown up in the States as opposed to the UK, where not a lot of big guys like that go and play, say, I'm gonna go fight. They're gonna go play a sport that's gonna make them millions upon millions. So easily he can come to the to America growing up and could have been playing in the NFL. That's just how gifted I see him as a nimble big guy. And I think Jon kind of answered some of those questions if he can stick around. And he said at the end, I think he kind of had a little bit of juice, a little bit of confidence, like, you know what, I'm not retiring. It's negotiation time, and I like that. I thought all those things answered those questions, but Stipe gave the best that he could give. So no shame in that. He still has the most title defenses in a row at the heavyweight division. So for me, he's still the heavyweight GOAT, but Jon Jones is still one of the, if not the greatest of all time.
Darren Till is scheduled to box Tommy Fury on January 18th, and today they held their press conference. Darren is getting roasted over this footage circulating around social media. This user writes, built like a cereal box. Oh Jesus, he's taking it seriously. Looks like he trained boxing under the great Ronda Rousey. F me, he looks like shit, and this is gonna be bad for him. Conor McGregor had a wild back and forth with Cris Cyborg last night. It started with Conor's reaction to Alex Pereira hard sparring. Conor wrote pointless. Johnny Eblen replied saying, just like your comeback. Cris Cyborg replied to Johnny Eblen with this gif. It says, got him. Conor responded to Cris Cyborg. He said, Chris micro Cyborg. Cyborg responded with this gif, and Conor replied with this gif. It says, dude looks like a lady. Cyborg fired back with this. She wrote, you haven't won a fight in 8 years, even online. And Conor responded once again saying, you have a little Sean Strickland and Nate Diaz took some shots at Charles Oliveira today. They reacted to this clip of Charles and his teammate cutting weight together. Sean reposted the clip to his Instagram story. He said, nah, any of you ever do this, leave the gym and never come back, with the flag at the bottom. And Nate left a comment. He wrote,
and that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos.
Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from Mike Maggs. It says, can we all agree that Tom versus John would be a killer fight? The second one's from Video Diaries EJO. It says, Eric Anders found out Chris Weidman was getting the old gloves and bounced. And the final one's from William. It says, Conor hasn't won a fight at lightweight since Obama was president. Let that sink in.
Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.